Hi, I'm Mark, and welcome to this video on the absolute basics of enchanting. Now, if you came to this video looking for a bunch of different enchantments and how to do them and what they do, you came to the wrong place. What I'm going to talk about is more for beginners, for getting up to speed on the whole concept of enchanting. So let's get started. The first thing we want to do is make an enchantment table. And we're going to go down here and do that. If you look in here, here's our recipe for an enchantment table. Requires a book, 4 obsidian, and 2 diamonds. Now this is obviously more of a mid-game type of thing because most people don't go running out looking for diamonds and making obsidian very early in the game. It usually takes a little bit longer. If you can do it early, hey, knock yourself out. So anyhow, we're going to craft our enchanting table, or enchantment table as the case may be. I've heard both, but I know the official name is an enchantment table. So there's our enchantment table. And we're going to put it right here in the center of the room. And I'll show you why in just a moment. So we'll put her down there. And now we need to power it. Now you're saying, power it? What the heck? Notice how there's no particles around here or anything like that. That makes that enchantment table very, very weak. There isn't a lot going on. But what we can do is we can put bookcases around it. Now, there's a very specific pattern for doing this. Do you have to do it this way? No. But let me show you the pattern first. So we want to put 15 bookcases, just like that. And you'll notice there are 15 in that pattern. Now, if you look at the enchantment table, it's getting the little glyphs coming in. So we know it's getting powered. 15 is the maximum number of bookcases that will power that enchantment table. You can put more, but that's the best you can do. You also need to leave some space around your enchantment table. If you put something tight up against it, for example, I put carpet one time right next to my enchantment table, couldn't figure out why it didn't work properly, and that was the reason, is because I had put that carpet right next to it. So you want to leave this space around it, and you end up with this nice little aisle to walk in and out. So that's the long and short of how you want to set that up. Now the next thing you're going to need is some things to go along with your enchantment table and bookcases. One of those things is lapis. When you do some enchantment, let me show you quick, you can see there's a slot here for lapis lazuli. And it wasn't until just recently that lapis was required. We really had no use for lapis, so it became a requirement in enchanting. You also are going to obviously need the items you want to enchant. So let's grab a few items here. We've got these, we'll grab a tool, we'll grab a weapon, and maybe we'll grab a fishing rod. Oh, how about some shears too? Okay. So we've got those items and we want to enchant them. We have our enchanting table, we have our lapis. So let's go in here and we'll enchant a sword first. Now if you take a look, all of these are grayed out. These are our different enchantments, and you can see sharpness 1, sharpness 2, and unbreaking 3. That's because we haven't put our lapis in yet. If we put 1 in, it unlocks the first one. Put 2 in, it unlocks the second one. And watch what happens if we put 3 in. Nothing happens. Now the reason being is that we don't have the experience points, the XP, to fulfill what this requires. This requires 30 XP in order to do this enchant. And we don't have that. So the best we're ever going to get is the second level. But let's, for the sake of argument, do just a first level enchantment here. And if you watch my XP, because this is saying 3 XP, right? Wait a second, it only took 1 away. That's because you need a minimum of 3 XP, but it will only take whatever this level is away, so 1, 2, or 3. And we got our sharpness 1. Let's do something else. Let's put this in here and take a look at something real quick. Let's go for a level 2 enchant. No, I don't want to use up all my XP. I can always get more. But this is an efficiency 1, ... question mark. Now the reason that's there is because you sometimes get a bonus enchantment. You never know what it's going to be, but sometimes you'll get it. So let's see if we get it this time. Efficiency 1, that's all we got is efficiency 1. Now this brings up another point. Notice how there are certain enchantments that can only go with certain items. So for example, you can't put an efficiency 1 on chain boots and it'll never show up. You can only get enchantments that work on that specific item. So you don't have to worry about enchanting your boots with Lure of the Sea for fishing rods. Speaking of which, let's see what we can get here with a fishing rod. We can get Unbreaking 1, which doesn't do much for us. We can get Lure 1 or Unbreaking 3. But I'm not going to do that. So you get an idea of how to do basic enchantment. Now let's say we wanted to add another enchant to our diamond sword. We put it up here, we put our lapis, and nothing's happening. Well, the reason is you can only enchant something once on the enchantment table. However, you can combine enchantments. So let's do another, let's see here, what would work well. We can go on the anvil and combine two things. Oh, I see a flicker. Let's do this. Toggle downfall. It's lightning out right now, so you're going to get that flicker in the light otherwise. Okay, so anyhow, as I was saying, you can combine enchantments on an anvil. So you could put 2 X's, for example, with different enchantments and combine them on the anvil to create another one. So let's try that one. Here's our anvil, and here is our recipe for an anvil. Now, I'm not going to go through making it, but you get the idea. It's a lot of iron. I think it's 31 or something like that. 27, 31 iron. So let's say we wanted to combine our axe, sharpness 1, with our sword with our axe. Notice how nothing happens. You can combine 2 different things. But let's see if we can find a diamond sword. I think I have one here. Yep. And we're going to throw an enchantment on it. Say, what have we got on this one? Sharpness 1. So let's put on Unbreaking 3. So we go here, and we take our sword, the one that's enchanted, and we put this enchantment on it. So now we have an Unbreaking 3 sword. But what happens if we put that with our Sharpness 1 sword? Now we get them both on the same thing. Of course, we lose a sword in the process, but you can combine them into one sword. Pretty cool, huh? You also probably noticed that I used a book to enchant that sword. That is another thing that you can do with the anvil, is use an enchanted book to add it to a specific, let's do Luck of the Sea on our fishing rod, to add it to a specific item. So we do Luck of the Sea, costs us 6, but we get to specifically pick what we're going to put on our fishing rod. And there we go. So that's a good way to combine enchantments or specify enchantments, but there is some limitation to the books. And that is the fact that you still only get random enchantments from your books. So if we go on here, we never know what we're going to get on our book. And of course, I'm out of XP to do that with. Nice, nice. Let's do this. Game mode 1. Since you've seen how that works already, I'll switch over to creative here, and I'm going to get some bottles of enchantment. So I've got those to work with. This is always fun. I like this part. Whoops. And get a whole bunch of enchantment here. Or XP, I should say. Okay, and then we'll switch back over to the other game mode. And ta-da! I now have 19 XP, plus 64 more bottles of enchantment if I want to add some more. So anyhow, here we are, trying to remember what I was talking about. I was out of XP. Oh, books! I remember now. You put a book on there, and you put it there, and you say, okay, I want to do Fortune 1, but I don't have enough XP. Sharpness 1, well, I don't really need Sharpness 1, I need Fortune. Okay, you could go out and you could get more XP points, and that would allow you to get up to Fortune. Fortunately, I have enough here, but I don't want to use them. But the point being is you don't necessarily get to pick what goes on your books. So you might have to enchant a bunch of books before you get what you're looking for. And again, you can combine books. So let's enchant 2 books here. Let's do this. We'll enchant that one. We'll enchant one more. Hopefully we don't get the same enchant. So we got power 1 and sharpness 1. Now we can go down here and we can combine our books as well. So we come down here, take one book here, one book here, and we get a power and sharpness book. Let's see if we got another sword in here. We do. Cool. I was thinking ahead. So we can put our sword in here, and we can put both enchants. Oh, it's only a gold sword. Never mind. Oh no, I'm sorry. Power 1 is a bow. Is a bow enchantment, not a sword enchantment. But you kind of get the idea. This is a good time to show you this fact. You've got 2 enchants on here. It's going to only pick the one that goes with the sword. In this case, it's sharpness 1. But if you had both on that book, you had both sword enchantments, it would put them both on the sword. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me take a look at my notes here. We've talked about the maximums that you will get. Oh no, we haven't. About the maximums you will get on certain enchantments. So for example, we've got all these different levels. If you take a look, there's power 5. There's also power 4, 3, 2, 1. And each of those ratchets up the amount of the enchantment on there. But there are certain limitations. You can't continue to go up to power 6 or power 7 or something like that. There are enchants that are on and off enchantments. So in other words, let's look at Silk Touch. And we're going to take our axe and enchant it with Silk Touch. Oops, that's already enchanted. Well, we can throw Silk Touch on there. Okay, so now we get both Efficiency 1 and Silk Touch. Now, if you look, Silk Touch is a 1. There is no Silk Touch 2, 3, 4, 5. It's an on or off enchantment. It's either there or it isn't. So Silk Touch is also like Infinity on bows. It's either on or it's off. So there's different kinds of enchantments as well. We talked about repairing. We talked about the fact that you can't enchant more than once on an item using the enchantment table. We talked about the on-off, the limitations on those. Oh, there's another one, protection spells. So if we have some armor and we want to put on, let's see here, blast protection. We have, let's see here, blast protection and projectile protection. Oops, wrong one. Let's say we wanted to put those both on our armor. So we put the projectile protection on. We go to put the blast protection on. And notice how there's only one of them there? That's because you cannot put 2 protection enchants on a piece of armor. Anything that says protection in it, you only get 1 per piece of armor, which can get really frustrating because you'd like to have 1 piece of armor that covers all of that, but nope, you got to put it on separate pieces of armor. Hopefully that makes sense as well. Let me take one quick peek at my notes here again. We talked about making an enchanting table, making an anvil, using lapis, the items you can enchant, using XP. We talked about building an enchanting table, what the recipe is, things like that, how to build an anvil, blah, blah, blah. I think I covered everything. So if I missed anything, please leave it in the comments and we can chat a little bit more about it. So if you liked this video, please leave a comment or leave a like, or best of all, subscribe. And if you didn't like this video, keep it to yourself. Thanks for watching.